Hey guys, what's going on? Petey here. So today we're going to be talking about late game armies and which class tech you guys should pick. I'm going to give a little bit of experience from what I've learned from the game and kind of break it down for you guys to help you make a decision on what you should choose. So the three class techs in the game are Airman, Tanker, and Cannoneer. Each one of these gives significant amounts of bonuses to the respective techs. So just a little bit of backstory. I started out as Tanker, and maybe a couple years ago now, I switched it up to Airman. I realized that I kind of liked the airplay more than on the ground fighting, and Tanker for me wasn't that great late game. So I'll give you a little bit of experience and a little bit of know-to, so you guys can help you guys make a decision. So Airman, some really cool things about it. The pros, for one, it's really devastating. If they don't have anti-air, you could wipe out an entire army. It's really easy to farm cities in because you can simply just cover up turrets with the bombers and bomb the city, paratroop infantry in there, take the city, and move on. It's really devastating to get behind enemy lines and kind of mess things up if they don't have their armies present. Now, if their armies do show up, you typically are kind of screwed. I mean, you could play defense and try to save your bombers and your air force, but you're not necessarily going to be fighting them if they have anti-air. You can't really heal through it that well because the flak and the whirlies in this game are just nuts. So you're typically going to back off. So this is more of a farming, get high territory score, running people over, getting cities for capture, and that's kind of the name of the game with the Airmen. And then also you have the fighters, the jets. You're also going to be trying to chase people down. If you see like gigs flying over water or over mountains, you want to get those fighters in there, those jets, to go in there, shoot them down before they can drop any of their troops. So that's kind of Airmen. It's very cheap to get up. Like for example, you run bombers and jets. You only have 2 units you really need to upgrade, 2 units that you need officers for, and it's pretty cheap to get up. I'm moving on to Tanker. So Tanker's really good for early game because of all these light tank bonuses. Oh man, it's fun to run light tanks. And then you also get Stug attack range, which is really nice. It just makes everything feel just real smooth in the early games. And if you don't have it, like if you're running Airman, you'll miss Tanker. That's why I'm running it currently. But anyways, so pretty good bonuses. And then the only con of it is come late game, you're going to be using Tiger tanks or you're going to be using like King Tiger or something like that. And they're good, but only in like bigger fights. So for example, if a full high level tanker with King Tigers, right, 40 King Tigers is rolling around and he runs into an Airman and he doesn't have any anti-air, he's done. If he does, he's fine. But if he runs into a Cannoneer that drops 40 M40s on him, then the tanker will more than likely lose that fight pretty much every time. But in a 5v5, if you get these tanks pushing the M40s and stuff like that, and you're just kind of trying to mitigate damage from our M40s, then it's a solid class to play. So it's kind of a support role. You can still run around and kill any city you want with 40 tanks, but if a cannon drops on you, you kind of got to run. And yeah, so very good for early game, not so much late game, but yeah. And then finally we have Cannoneer. Now Cannoneer, the more I look at it and research it, the more I regret not going Cannoneer. Basically, you have huge bonuses to your M40s. If you're running M40 with Tanker or Airman, you are missing out on so much. And you can check out my other videos if you want to see that. But the Cannoneer, you get not only M40s, like massive damage boosts, massive defense against tanks and things like that, but you also get a bunch of flak upgrades too. Like look at this one, if I could find it. I probably shouldn't have even talked about this. Well, in here is shoot. In here is a flak attack range that you can get. Oh, sorry, that's actually airman. So disregard. I'm going off on a tangent. Anyways, Cannoneer. Basically, the name of the game with this is you get M40s as quick as you can get an LC level 2 up, which is about 6 to 8 hours if you have a fast league. Get your LC city up, and then you could be popping these things out when people still have light tanks and recon jeeps on the field, and you're going to be doing splash damage. It's freaking devastating. So Cannoneer is also really good early game, but not right at the beginning. Like maybe a couple hours into it. So really solid here. The reason I didn't go it was because I'm not so much. You basically have to fly your units in pretty much everywhere you go. So you'll be using your gig transports. You'll load up everything, go to a city, drop your troops in a tree line, kill the city, capture it, and then you either can gem the city. Like if say when you're killing the city, you kill the airport off, so you're not able to load again for another 30 minutes. So you'll have to either gem the city and then gem the airport to repair it, or you have to wait those 35 minutes for everything to get repaired up, and then you can load your gigs in, load all your troops up, and then move on to the next city. That's the main reason I didn't like it initially, and it's like a very kind of anti-farm type thing. But come endgame PvP, this is what everybody uses. It's M40 fights. You can't really fight with airmen because if there's one AA there, like it can potentially shoot down your whole thing, your whole air force. So typically fights are fought with Cannoneer, and then Tanker is kind of a support role to that. And they just give you so many good bonuses. The flak is disgusting. It poofs jets. It makes airmen like not like you keep airmen out of the fight if there's a Cannoneer with flak or a Cannoneer with whirlies. So um, yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. Um, Cannoneer, to get it fully upgraded, you're looking at upgrading your M40s and then your flak and potentially your whirlies. So 3 units, fully upgrading those with gold, and officers. Really, it's a little more expensive than airmen. It's about on par with tanker to do it. So that's kind of the name of the game. Airmen really good at farming. Kind of sucks late game at PvP, but it's really good at farming. Tanker, really good early map, um, and kind of falls off towards the end. Cannoneer, you don't really have any buffs at the very beginning, but as soon as you get the M40s, you're rocking and rolling. A little slower for farming, and but great for endgame. So that's kind of my analysis on this. If you guys have any comments you want to add, some of your opinions, feel free. I'd love to read them and maybe include it in another video. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. So thanks for watching. This has been Petey, and we'll catch you guys later. Petey out.